Hey y'all, it's Sarah, and I have got a gorgeous color for you guys today. I am absolutely in love with this color, and I'm talking about this turquoise color here in the middle. I'm going to be showing this one today, and I've showed you before how to do dry brushing if you look at the teal and white video. And you can definitely dry brush just about any color you want to over this once you've got your paint finish applied. But today I'm going to show you how to get kind of this look. And coming up will be some of this natural wood look. And if you haven't checked it out already, this is from the light gray salvage barnwood look. So definitely check that one out. I do love this one. But we're going to focus on this one, and I know that it almost shows a little blue on my camera from what I see. However, this absolutely is a really pretty, true kind of turquoise look. When you're looking at it in person, it definitely has that little tint of that turquoise green and less of the bright blue than what's showing through right now, and that's more my lighting and filming than it is this color, but it is so pretty. And I want to show you how to get this one. And I'm going to move these out of the way so that I can show you the paint colors that I'm going to be using. And I'm going to be using the Waverly Wax and Clear, the Waverly Wax and Antique, and the Waverly chalk paint in the color Lagoon. And I know this color seems a little scary. Now that you can see those together, that is a very bright blue. It's a really intense kind of blue. Now that you see it near that blue, you realize how turquoise this really is. And let's get started. I want to show you guys how to get this color. It's such a pretty color. I'm in the South. This is a really normal color combination for us down here. You see this kind of rustic aged teal a lot. So I definitely wanted to mimic it. And I'm going to show you how that's done. So let me give you a comparison versus what this looks like compared to the dry brushing method. Now I've showed you the dry brushing. This is the same color. This is the Lagoon color. It's that very same color. Dry brushed on just an antique wax wood finish. And you can see how bold and blue that is. And that's just dry brushing on the surface after this is completely dried. If you haven't seen that, definitely check that out. It gives you a way to add color to these. And I wanted to show you that comparison because it is two really different looks. And I've got stacks and stacks of boards around me, guys, so give me a second. So I'm starting out. Now you guys can see just how bold that color is. I'm going to show you how to get to that color, which is not very difficult. I'm going to take 2 strips. These are cut in 3x30. That's the full longer length of the Dollar Tree foam core. And if you're looking to make sure that you get the same exact product so that you're getting the same exact surface, the foam core from Dollar Tree is Readi-board. So that's what type I'm using and have used for all of these. I have tried a few others. The paper surface is the most important part. The plastic surface doesn't take the paint and the paint products the same way. So you're not going to get the same kind of finish that we can get here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm only going to do a little distressing on this. I feel like with all the color that it's got, I don't need a lot of distress to this. So I'm just going to take my fingernail And for those of you that wonder if this starts to hurt, my nails are pretty squared off, so I hit at that sharp corner first and then spin down into it. By the time that little sharp edge breaks that surface, it's really easy, but I'm kind of breaking that surface and then spinning around, if that helps for some of you that were questioning how to do that. So I'm going to bring in my Lagoon, and I'm going to show you this color. This is such a rich color. Let me put it against that white so you can really see. I am using something a little different than you usually see me use. I'm pulling out, these are just Dollar Tree kitchen sponges. They come in a 6-pack. Now, I typically have said already before, I'm not super keen on the texture that this leaves for wood graining on my wood pieces. For this particular finish, these are really helpful, as opposed to these that have a nice texture that leave a variety of graining. And I'm still going to be using that. I'm just not going to be using it exactly the same way that I normally start off with. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get me a little of this color. And I'm just going to take it on my sponge and clean that off there. Now, the next thing I want is I want to make sure that I have plenty of wax mixed in with this chalk paint. The reason I like chalk paint more than acrylic is the pigment. When we're working with this, acrylic usually is a thinner, more watery paint. So it's not as heavy with the pigment. You end up getting where you need more of the acrylic wetter paint to get the same kind of coverage. So that's why I go with chalk paint, and it has a faster drying time. It's not necessarily for the texture, it's that it's chalk paint. It's that the pigments just seem to work better for this without needing as much product. So I've got that really mixed in. There's just as much wax. And I'm using this as my application process. This wax is what helps keep your boards from curling. If you paint it with regular paint, if you paint both sides, it can be completely fine. But rather than have to paint both sides and to get the translucence appearance instead of just full coverage, the wax part is necessary. If I was just doing this with this paint as it is, this is going to give me a full coverage instead of this light translucent coverage. And I'm kind of trying to drag through some of my graining and streaks here as I go. It's harder to do with the blue, it's just harder to see. But I still am keeping in mind how my grains would go on a regular board. I love this color. I love, love, love this color. I'm not a big fan of bright colors. I do like anything in the aqua, turquoise kind of family. So all I've done is given some fairly decent coverage. You can see it's still translucent in some places. I did not go in and fill in my little knot holes. I am going to kind of rub out my fingerprints. And these need to dry. Now, normally you'll see me move on pretty quickly to the next layer, the next step. It's better if these dry. You want this to be a nice dry surface, because we're going to do exactly what the antique wax was meant for. We're about to age this. So these have had a chance to dry. They're maybe a hair darker than that one. And I'm going to pull in my antique. And now I'm going to go in with my normal sponge. And this is just a Dollar Tree bath sponge that I have cut in half. And I like doing it this way because I get a full flat surface to balance out my grains all at the same time. So I'm going to go in with this. I'm just going to add a little bit of this clear. And I'm going to squish that down into my spots. I wanted those to be slightly darker. Now I'm going to start to rub that out. Now I'm going to keep in mind where I'm putting pressure points through my sponge with my fingers to mimic the graining for this particular look. Normally we start setting our graining foundation with the first layer. On this, we're doing it with this top layer. And I'm just going to try to hurry up and drag this across. I don't want all of this to sit in here. I want the variances. I want the different colorations. And you can see how it's taking that really nicely. But there is so much depth in that. So the next thing I'm going to do is, this one is completely dry. It has no product on it. I'm going to use it to come in and pull a little of that up. So you can pull a little, you can pull a lot. You can leave that first layer like that, so you have a darker version, so you have a lighter version, so you have a grainier version. And this is the result of the lighter. And then you can see these are the results of the slightly darker of the Lagoon. And I'm going to go in with my wax down on this end. And I'm going to blend in some of my graining. Oop. Well, I hadn't planned on going that heavy with it, but let's show you that anyway. So the heavier you go with this, the more it starts to look like turquoise rather than that bright blue. And this is going to kind of work with a whole lot of colors. And you can see the more that it has the darker across it, the more turquoise it tends to be. So if you're trying for the blue and you wanted that actual blue color, you're going to go the opposite direction. You're going to put your Waverly Wax and Antique down first, and then you're going to dry brush your Lagoon and wax mix over it after. And you'll end up with a really blue version of this paint. When you go this direction, you get the really teal aqua version of this paint. And you can just continue to blend these in. Get those variations. Get those different strokes in there. And if you can see, they look translucent, like it goes all the way down into that wood. Like it's, instead of a dry brushing, distressing, it's more like a whitewash look. Or in this case, it would be a blue wash look. And I've got fingerprints everywhere that I'm trying to work off of here. And you can see the several different directions you can get with that. You can go really heavy with your wax. You can go really light with your wax. And I'm going to zoom in really quick and just try to let you see the details of those so that it'll help you determine which way is a better option for the kind of decor that you're wanting to do. And I actually like all of them mixed together. Love this color. There are so many furniture pieces in my area that come in this color, in this kind of aged out aqua turquoise. This one really to me is turquoise. It has that coloration like a piece of turquoise jewelry. And I am trying to get wax down in my little knot hole here. Now for your knot holes, because it will make these halos, that's part of the reason why I like to come back in with my little makeup sponge, a little bit of my color, rub that off so that you're just barely hitting that with any paint. If you guys watch some of my other videos, you know I'll just kind of tap it in with a fingerprint. And then drag that out. This one you can see it's already been tapped around a little bit to get its darker color. I really prefer one of the makeup sponges that I've already used a couple times and have cut down. I feel like I get better results doing that once it's already been used a couple times. It doesn't leave such a square kind of result. So if you notice what I did, I just kind of buffed a little of that out so it matches with the grain and it really softens that. And that was just a barely light touch dragging across those nut holes. So let me move a little of this out of the way so you can compare the results that you can get out of this one Lagoon color. You can either go with a dry brushing and get this, and I should show you what happens if you did the wood, do the dry brush, and then waxed over that. You're going to get something closer to that. But it's still, you can see it both still has that blue kind of hue to it. It definitely pulls out more of the blues. This definitely pulls out more of the aquas. I don't know if you can see all that, how that pulls through. I wanted to give you a couple different options on how that looks, how that blends with other colors. That's why I had the few pieces out to start with. I love this aqua with pretty much any of the colors that I put it with. Whether it was the natural colors, whether it was the darker colors. I pretty much loved it with all of them. I don't know about you guys. I think any other of the wood tones, it really could work super pretty with. And if you've already done one of these projects, I'm really funny about changing my wood pieces around until I have a pattern that I like. And I do that a lot. But just know that this color mixes so nicely with any of the other wood tones that you could pick from. This one's like got a brownish black kind of base. This one's a much creamier look. Even the sort of let's see. This is a sample board done before with a dry brushing mixed in. It works really well. And you can see the Lagoon is much bluer. That's Lagoon and Agave. This gives you a truly teal kind of result, even with the more red colors. Every single color to me just works really great with this. And I'm going to show a few more of these. This one, and let me show you guys what's next so you know what you're looking forward to. So this one is a very soft blonde natural wood. This one is almost a plywood. I don't know if you guys can see those. These are coming up. There's going to be a few more colors like this coming up. And after asking some questions on the Peppermint Cactus group page today, I'm sure I'll be working on putting together actual color combinations for you guys of, hey, try these colors mixed with these color slats and see if you like those results. But I did want you to know that there's a couple more coming up, and there's definitely some more with color coming up. I love all these colors. They make me happy. They really do. I hope they make you guys happy and get your mind ticking at creating. Or at least giving you a little inspiration to want to think about creating. But I hope you enjoy these as much as I do. I can't wait to show you the next few colors that I've come up with. I figured now everyone that's been involved has started to get the basics of it. So now I can complicate it a little for you guys and shake it up a little bit. And I'm looking forward to that. I think it's a really fun way to introduce some color into your decor or into your project. And I'm looking forward to showing you a few more of the combinations. So thanks guys, I hope you like this one, and I can't wait to see any projects done from it. Bye!